Welcome to Dice and Mind, a podcast hosted by Brad Brown and Jason Kaufman to explore the intersection of life, games, science, music, philosophy, and creativity through interviews with leading creatives. All are welcome in this space.
We're doing a Midsummer Night's Dream episode today of Dice and Mind. As part of that, a grand announcement that we are finally releasing Jason's OnlyFans account.
No, we're not. But alternatively, sadly, we also don't have an episode for you today. There's just a reality, but both of our schedules together have gotten away from us. It's just we both have lots going on. It's end of summer, but we're still here because we're not leaving
But
you
we
all high and
have,
dry.
yeah, we have like a number of like guests coming
Yeah,
scheduled over the next few weeks.
over the
As a,
yeah,
over the next several weeks.
yeah.
Um, but we really wanted to talk about your OnlyFans account.
We
So
didn't. So, what? Since we don't have an episode for all of you today as planned, as we had hoped, we wanted to leave you with essentially our first ever teaser and give you a little insight into what's actually going to be coming as summer wraps and fall in the Northern Hemisphere begins. And this is all scheduled. We are
I'm
looking.
excited. Well,
Oh,
I'm actually excited because I'm going to actually have my first. You've met. Who have you met? You've met now three
okay.
of our guests in real life now.
So we're gonna swing Star Trek for a sec because we can't help it. So
Yeah.
when it comes to the Star Trek Adventures team,
Yep.
I've spent time, I've had meals with Jim Johnson, uh, Michael Dismuke, Al
Yep.
Spader, all
Yep.
really lovely guys, and like within a week after this drops, almost exactly a week after this drops, you are gonna do what?
Yeah. I'm coming up to spend a couple days at Dice Mine headquarters north
Yep,
in the
that's
Twin
right.
Cities
Right. Northern
and
Studio.
Northern Studios, and Jim will be up there. I'm
Mhm.
actually going to bring a box of Star Trek Adventures books with
For
me.
for him to
Literally,
sign.
literally.
Right.
Um, first and second edition books.
I was thinking about
Um,
that. I will make sure we have markers for you.
yeah, I actually, ironically have a
You got Sharpies?
unopened box of Sharpies, both black and silver,
Oh,
for pages
nice.
that are black, where they can be signed in
Ooh.
silver.
Ooh. Okay.
So
I've got the silver Sharpie paint pen, but that's not what you want. Yeah.
no, I have a regular Sharpie
Nice.
normal
Yep.
normal pen in silver. Um, Going back to when we would have like cards signed that were, or like when we go to like baseball games and have them sign a black glove.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Um, so bringing those up. So we'll spend time with Jim. I'll be spending time up north, but I think we are going to record an episode for the first time in the same room, right?
We're certainly going to play an
Yes.
RPG session together in the same room for the first time in 4 or 5 years, I
I think
think.
I think we should record it. Not necessarily because we need to release it. I just think we should record it for posterity's
Yeah,
sake.
we've talked about that. So I think you're right. I think one way or another, a recording's going to come out of it. Maybe we will have a special episode. You might be right. Maybe something that'll come later this fall. Yeah, I like where you're going with this.
A bonus Patreon episode.
Yes, for the many of you who fund us through our now defunct yeah, so zero, who support us through Patreon and whatnot, which we closed all of that a couple years ago.
Yeah, wait, that's
Um,
not our point of
nope, not
doing
our
this.
point.
That wasn't like a jab. That was a joke
Yeah,
amongst
yeah.
us because
You
we
couldn't tell
literally
because Brad isn't funny, but that's not why we're in it. Yeah,
that's true.
that's true.
That's very true.
So our teaser, more teasers moving forward. What we can tell you all, what's scheduled now is moving into Northern Hemisphere autumn. We are looking to what we're planning on getting updates regarding Fantasy Flight Games and Edge Studio. Kind of looking back, looking forward. We are going to do a
Isn't it really
deep
more like? Isn't it really more like Asmodee and Edge Studio, really.
So I suppose it's Asmodee as well, but I'm also thinking of like, because, well, I suppose FFG is FFG owned by Asmodee as well as Edge?
Yeah,
I mean, I think,
I think they're
yeah.
independent entities under the umbrella of Asmodee.
Okay, yeah. So
Um,
all of that we're gonna dive
yeah,
into. And you and I have been trying to do this for actually a like not months, like a couple of years. We've been
yeah.
trying to connect over that, and we're so pleased. We're gonna have a returning guest. Actually, all three of our upcoming guests are returning. And
Hmm.
that's great. So we're gonna have a
Two
returning
time.
guest.
This is will be their second time returning. So these are people that
Yes.
you have heard only one other time.
Thank you. An important clarification. Right.
Yeah.
Then after that, we're going to do a deep dive into the Cosmere Stormlight RPG and
Yes.
a mechanically deep dive. I know you are excited about that as much as I
You're
am.
giving away more info than you had indicated we were going to be giving away.
Should we stop giving this away?
No, I'm saying that's fine. I just thought we were going to be a little more vague in our teasing, and
Well,
you're
he-
teasing less.
I'm teasing
You're
less.
teasing
We're not naming names,
you're
but
teasing less and you're being direct more, which is totally cool. I just didn't think you'd do that.
it's the only
So
time we've ever done this. We've always kept it close to the chest, but I think this time, um, because we don't have an episode, right? I don't want like I neither of us want this to just be filler for the four people listening, right?
yeah,
We want you all to rest assured that because it's so atypical for us to miss two episodes.
we need
And
Brian to at least get some time on the treadmill while listening to this, because that's what I think
okay,
Brian does is he
good
listens to
point.
this while he's on his treadmill,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true.
Right, Brian? That's what you do when you're on
Right.
when you listen, you're on the
Well, but
treadmill,
Mel
right?
allows him to step off for snacks.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, and
That's a good
water.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back on the treadmill.
Back
Run,
on.
Brian, run.
Run,
Um,
run.
run. Um, and then the last one is that we have scheduled so far is we're going to look, and actually, this isn't like tongue in cheek. We're going to explore the ethics of space travel, like with a real forward perspective. It's going to
That
be a
one,
really, yeah, it's going to be
that
pretty cool.
and what's interesting is that one alone, um, the communication, how it popped up and how you kind of
That was an
coordinated
accident.
that one. Yeah, how you coordinated that one and all of that. That was a phenomenal
That
one.
was,
I'm very excited to talk about it because it's out of my to use some old vernacular. That's really out of my bailiwick, and
oh, I like your grandpa
so
words.
I know you do.
Okay.
I got to go clean the eaves troughs later, and
I don't know that one.
you don't know that one?
No.
Oh, that was my grandpa when he would
Read a bit,
instead of
brother.
cleaning the gutters, I got to go clean the eaves troughs.
Oh, that's
So
great. I'm going to
you
try to
know,
work that in when we see company tonight for dinner. The
work it
Eavesdrops.
in with just the family first, and just see if they pause and give the look, to
Well,
see.
I mean, my
But you
family doesn't
can't.
need to pause to give the look
No,
at this
no, no,
point.
no. But you can't say it with the Kaufman grin
No,
because
no,
then
no,
the
it has to be
you
like
have to do
come
straight
just
face when you do it.
nonchalant. Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Because
I can be dry.
okay,
Yeah.
well, we
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah,
but
we know that.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that one is going to be extraordinarily fascinating, and I have a sneaking suspicion when we come out of that discussion alone that we're going to be wanting to dive into either Traveler or Pioneer. Um,
Always.
so that's the first thing that came to mind when when I saw that that communication exchange with our future guest about it, because I'm like, oh, this is just right up that alley of discussion.
Well,
Um,
and to add to that, and this isn't really relevant so much to Dice and Mine, but you and I haven't talked about it yet. I mean, it won't. It's not new to you, but you and I haven't
yeah,
talked about it yet. But the timing wise, so as we're recording this, so between when we're recording this and when this little interlude comes out, uh,
which is in a
which is
week.
just in a few days. No,
Few
just
days,
yeah,
few
just
days.
in a few days. Yeah, um, I am 3 days out of having run my most recent field study for research, and this one was at the planetarium nearby. And so I've mentioned
Oh,
this.
I knew,
We
yeah, I
haven't
knew
talked
about
about
it. I
this in
guess I
a
just didn't realize that that was actually having like, that's like right
I hadn't
now.
no, I hadn't said anything. It was right Tuesday.
Okay.
and so I did it, and so with a wonderful colleague, good friend, and a former grad student who's now a colleague on the project, and then we have others, but it was me down on the floor of a planetarium guiding people under.
Did someone get pictures?
Yes, under a red light, I'll send you one. Under a red
Please.
light at the podium while the galaxy was overhead and the crickets were in the background. And we'll talk more off air because you know the research I do. But uh, but not only did we have this really, really what seemed to logistically be a pretty successful set of interventions under and after we were in this dome, but and it was very much a pilot study, big, really a pilot study, very preliminary. But I couldn't resist, and that night and the next morning, I scored everything, ran the analysis. Uh, my friend John and I are meeting this coming Monday to go through everything and start the conference proposal. Um, it all worked. Like it
Yeah,
worked
you,
really well. So,
and
and I just say
you know,
that because it's
when
so
I'm asking,
relevant. Yeah,
when I'm
yeah.
asking about the picture, I wasn't asking it to be a jokester. I was seriously
No, no, I
asking
know.
because
No,
I really would. I mean, to be honest with you, having you down in
you're
at
not gonna
like
see, and you'll see
at the
me. Yeah.
podium level, at the podium spot in a
Yeah,
planetarium
it
is
was a
where
pretty surreal experience, and
that's
I bring this up, everybody, because it's just it's so in fact this is what triggered that third conversation we have scheduled for very late September, that I was talking with a colleague who's also been on the show before, who Brad also knows, and like that bouncing an email suddenly was like, hey, let's do an episode.
mhm.
And so like this stuff, space travel, all of this stuff has been floating in my head. Uh, and then other things that have been coming up in the past few days. It's been very much on my mind. So yeah,
Well, and just to like even backtrack to something we kind of glanced over because we were kind of joking about the recording and everything like that. We're going to be playing STA
yep,
while I'm up there.
you
So we're going
definitely
to actually, yeah. So you
we are ready
actually
to
have an
roll.
adventure planned. Um,
I have a sandbox planned that I am
right.
so looking forward to running for you. And I've got like the two or three major beats. I sent you a little bit when we're together. I'm going to in game walk you through the rest of the kind of the background. It's really tuned for you and your interests, and like there's definitely going to be the potential for some fairly heavy weaponry,
Oh,
and yet it is a really cerebral situation that is dripping with ethical problems. And I've already said too much, but everything other than these two or three beats,
interesting.
everything will be entirely dependent on your choices. And
Interesting.
I'm really curious. I can see this vividly in mind of how we're going to
Yeah.
start, but I'm really curious how you, as captain of the USS Tethys,
Oh,
well, it was it. You had to really pay attention. It was in the communique I sent you, but just
yeah.
as like a little line. It's not
Got
addressed in
it.
that communique.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even have your PC name.
Yeah.
So it's like
At first,
USS
yes.
Tethys, and then it's right
Yeah.
in your communique from Starfleet Command, um,
Yeah.
and how you as captain on that mission, like what you decide. Uh, I'm really curious because I hopefully it is going to be as interesting and intriguing and challenging as I hope it is. I think it will be. And for the record, there's no religion unless you bring it in, and there aren't any androids.
Well, now I'm a little
This,
disappointed,
well, I
but
mean, there can be, but this is entirely there. Give me a second, I'll get an android in there. Right, one who's a devout whatever. But
yeah.
no, this is entirely designed for you as a relying on some tropes you would never expect me to take.
Oh, so you really push the envelope on your own, on to
I
your within yourself then too,
This
huh?
is I wanted to take advantage of STA, and so this is really story driven. So it's very, very concise, but there is an entire like it'll take 5 minutes, but there is an entire backstory that will set it up so that you kind of know what the situation is, what the challenges are, both in terms of practicality and ethics and leadership. And like I said, I emailed you, those a little messy because it's on my phone. This morning I emailed you your bridge crew just so you can start to get familiar with, yeah,
I saw the new sessions there. I haven't read it yet,
yeah,
but
no, you're
I
good.
will this
Just because
evening.
so you have them
Yeah.
so that yeah, no, this is very much not, this is unlike anything I've ever run for any of you guys in any game.
Interesting. Yeah, then we should record it, even if
Yeah, you're right.
anything, just for ourselves, because you know what? Who knows years from now or whatever? It might be fun to go back and listen to some of the shenanigans
I
that
mean, you know,
we just joke around about.
you're a
You
Green
know,
Ronin luminary, but if we slum it, then maybe you're right, and this will be like our one
let's
time
be clear.
actual
Let's be
play.
clear. I was a luminary one time, and I did so well that our good friend Troy was smart enough not to call me back. So,
Well, I thought
um,
you were very luminary. I got a mild tan just watching you. Maybe they just don't want you to overshadow anyone.
well played. Hey, speaking of tan, or maybe not.
Or not.
Um, you showed me something, a picture, not from your OnlyFans account,
Yeah,
but
that's where I was going.
from another book.
That we can't
Right,
talk about at all.
we can't.
Oh, wait, what book are you thinking of?
Something that you showed
Oh,
me.
oh. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, thanks. Well, yeah, I'll bring it up only because you are one of our authors in there.
I think
Uh,
it's worth bringing up because we have a number of people who have been on the show who are authors.
That's actually true. That's a very good point. So, um, along with my partner in crime, Dr. Aaron Peterson, who's been on before, longtime
Hmm?
listeners will know him, even if they don't like him. Aaron and I
I'm
recently,
mildly tolerant.
yeah, so is his wife.
Hmm.
Aaron and I, I would have to think for a sec. Um, about 6 weeks ago almost exactly 6 weeks ago, released our second book, which is actually a an anthology with 20 chapters. There are, I think, 19 authors. It covers scientists, humanists, people in the fine and creative arts professions. And you and right about a handful of people who've been on the podcast
Hmm.
have written as chapters in the whole. It's Second Star to the Right,
Laurie
essays.
Elster
Yep.
from
Oh, wait.
trekmovie.com.
So I forgive me if we forget anyone. Lori
Uh,
Ulster, Mike Wong, you, of course, Aaron, Michael Dismuke, Jim Johnson, Kelly Fitzpatrick. I could actually just grab the book over there, though it's out of reach. And more.
Yeah, oh, a
And
lot
then
more. I
a
mean,
lot
some of the
more.
people so the people that I got to write with, um, I mean,
It's pretty cool. It's a heck of a team.
not pretty cool, very cool.
It's
Um,
it's it's a heck of a team. So it's an anthology. Uh it's all about yeah, different perspectives, really different perspectives on leadership in Star Trek and what we can learn from that. I will say apparently this has been an issue with our publisher Vernon Press and Amazon but the cover art is broken in Amazon. But if you go over to I'll probably link the paperback pre-order page only because then you can see the cover art, which is gorgeous.
Oh, it totally is.
Eventually that will be
Cool.
fixed. But right, no, thanks for bringing that up. That's especially for the podcast, given how many people have contributed. It's really, I'm biased, but it's kind of special. It's pretty cool. So I suspect we'll be hearing from um, more of them. Emily Strand, man, whom else? So many. And there are people who wrote for us who have not been on the podcast, but when you and I kind of get to that point in our plans, there are definitely people we want to have on the podcast and simply
Oh,
haven't had a chance to ask yet with Summer.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I think everybody who was involved
yeah.
in that book, their perspectives, um,
Jason Von Steitz. Yeah, it's actually yeah. I mean, yes, everyone on that list of authors
independent,
really
and
should
even
be.
their expertise and all that, um, obviously transcends Trek.
Yep.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and we could talk about leadership, we could talk about ethics, we could
Hmm.
talk about so many different things related to RPGs, related to creativity, related to that. All of them would be phenomenal
Yeah.
guests if they haven't been
and
already.
and ethics, a lot of E's, ethics, education, mentorship, equity. There's a lot of there are a lot of topics covered by that author team. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it
You
is.
did business ethics. We need a lot
Hmm.
more of that.
Yeah, I will. Well, I definitely don't disagree there. But
No, no,
um, but yeah, I think the we're into the second half of the year. I think there's a lot that's upcoming. Um, it's going to be a very busy second half of the year for both of us, even independent of the podcast. We're to still try to make time for some gaming. I think for me, I think what Q4 will be a lot easier for me um, from a gaming perspective for sure.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I mean, and as we
you're in on
recorded this
sabbatical,
yeah, in 10 days, I'm on my first ever
but
sabbatical. So it will not be a
but see,
busy time for me.
I think it, yes and no. I think you're on a sabbatical from your position at college, but you have things on the docket and things planned where it's not like
Oh, sure, sure.
you're gonna lounge and have Paramount Plus up running the Star Trek streaming channel all day, every day for 6 months.
If it makes you feel better to say that, then sure.
You know, oh, I did get a text from me the other day saying, "Hey, I have it on right now, and this is outstanding." And it's like,
That's exactly right. I hadn't seen that episode of TNG in years, the one where Q is defrocked, and I forgot how good it is. Their Q outfits are a little unnecessarily revealing. It was the late 90s or mid 90s, but it's such a good episode. But anyways, yeah, we've got lots coming, both in terms of Trek and way, way beyond Trek on the podcast.
oh yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
Mhm.
in fact, the next three our next three guests have nothing to do
Mm-mm.
with
No,
Star Wars, Star Trek.
no.
Lots of maybe Star something, but um,
Not
not
necessarily
even
even
that.
a lot of sci-fi, right?
No, no.
Yeah. Oh, but I can close us with this because this is only a couple days old for me, a few days old for me, and it's a bit of a surprise. We don't have a Loon Cafe today because, right, it's not a full episode, but I have started reading the novellas in the Murderbot Diaries.
Okay, so now I know that's a show out on what,
I've never
Prime or something?
On Apple TV.
Apple TV?
And
Okay.
I've not I saw a trailer or a teaser and it looked funny, but I haven't seen anything. I pre-ordered a book from Barnes& and Noble. It's still not going to be here until the 15th of this month. And so and I pre-ordered it almost a month in advance.
Fiction?
No, nonfiction. And so it's just one of these where they don't have them, like you order it, they don't have them in the stores,
Oh,
that
wait a
type of
second.
thing.
You pre-ordered a book, and while you're
Oh,
waiting, you started reading these
exactly.
novellas.
So
Got it. You
I
didn't
sorry.
pre-order the
No.
novellas.
Sorry. I pre-ordered this book. I finished the book I had been reading, which was a long nonfiction, really interesting. And I realized, I've got like a week to a week and a half. and I don't have anything to read. And I don't want to get into something nonfiction because I want to stay kind of focused on what's coming next. And so I was putzing around looking for some sci-fi, and I came across the Murderbot Diaries, and I'm like, eh. And then I read like a synopsis of the first one, and I actually picked it up. I ordered it online, pick up in store the next day. Didn't realize it was a novella. And I thought when I picked it up, I thought that's actually perfect because it's a real short commitment. It's like a
How
hundred,
many pages is it?
it was like 152 pages.
Oh, that's it.
I read it in 2 days. It's
Okay.
so fast moving. And I thought, uh-oh. That didn't solve my problem. So
You ordered
I
another one?
I ordered the other one last night, picked it up this morning. Because I thought, wait a minute, that was surprisingly clever. It moved really quickly, and the way it ended, I want to know more about the story. Like I'm not committing to all seven. I just want to know more. So I think I'll probably at least read the second one. And the second one doesn't miss a beat. I've only read the first chapter, but just kind of I know these are really popular. Like these have been out
I know
since
nothing about
27.
it. I know what I've heard. I've seen
Yeah.
like the screen splash for the
Yeah.
series, but I know nothing else beyond that.
It's really far future. It's really, really creative. It's pretty novel, although it's a novella, but I'm bumching. Uh, it's funny. Like the built-in humor of the protagonist, who's a murder bot, who's a sec unit. Um, that's what convinced me to give it a shot. So we'll talk about however many I've read when it comes time when we need something for our Loon Cafe.
I'm curious now, especially if they're short reads. I might be interested then.
Really short and really quick, and not because they're insipid. Far from it. There's a quite a bit that goes on. And yeah, it's just it's I realize I'm a real latecomer to this, right? This
Mhm.
is what 8 years old already that this begun, but it's a real surprise, and they're really fun. They're really quick reads. I would say um like I've read pretty much everything by Becky Chambers. And I really those are really interesting and a little quirky. Like if her novels were shorter and really had teeth, like there's a lot of sarcasm in it. Um uh I would say these are kind of neat. But yeah, so we'll talk more about them, but I just thought that seemed appropriate given what we were talking about.
Yeah, I just had to look up the
Hmm.
um oh, there's like 8 books. Oh,
I think there
there's
are
7 books,
seven
seven, and then
novellas, short
there's
stories.
eight, and there's an eighth
Okay.
one coming out next year.
Oh, there is. See, this is I'm not committing to anything. I'm simply going to read the second one. We'll see where it goes. If I've discovered a series that I really enjoy, I'd be delighted because how often does that
So
happen?
you're reading Artificial Condition right now.
So yep, I read All
All
Systems
systems
Red,
read.
hilarious. And then I just started Artificial Condition today as we record. Hmm. And we'll
Okay.
see where it ends up. We'll see if I finish it and I think, oh, that was a good close, then I might not ever pick one up. But if I enjoy the second one as much as the first, I might keep going.
I'm I'm fascinated by the fact that you have found some fiction that has like hooked you even a little bit.
And it's about a cyborg as the protagonist in
Yeah,
the literal sense of it.
yeah.
So yeah, it just
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
okay.
color me intrigued.
I shall call you intrigued, but not in public. All right, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us. As we always try to do, lots of really interesting conversations. Clearly not this one. Coming your way. We will be back in the saddle for episodes, picking up on a normal schedule in a couple weeks. In the interim, be well, stay well. We will see you in a couple weeks.